Well, hello friends. I have a quick short video on the debt snowball. Now this does pertain to one of your questions in the Unit 2 project, but not only that, this is possibly the most powerful way that I think you can really start to eliminate debt for yourself, for your family, for your friends, parents, whomever. It's a great way to really get traction. Now, the debt snowball was first kind of thought up by Mr. Larry Burkett of Christian Financial Concepts. Dave Ramsey has certainly taken his information and marketed it very, very well, and added his. Everyone adds a little bit to it. So let's look at the debt snowball. Now, there's a debt avalanche, but I think the snowball is the best way to go to eliminate debt. So we're trying to get proactive here. The way to eliminate debt, we do have to have a first step, because if I keep paying off a credit card or even pay down on my credit card and then keep spending, I'm just in a bad, vicious cycle unless I can pay it all back. So let's stop using debt to pay for purchases. All right, what do we need versus what do we want? We really need to get some intensity. So that's step one. So the next step, as we look at this, just called it, stop using debt for purchases. As I have mentioned in the course before in videos, we need at least $1,000 to $3,000 of cash for an emergency fund. The problem is, when an emergency happens, when tires go out, when cars need to be fixed, et cetera, we tend to look at a credit card for that emergency, and that's how easily it is to get racked up in debt. So, hard as you can, get your $1,000 to $3,000. I'm going to go up to the $3,000 mark as an emergency fund, so when things do happen, you can pay for those in cash and you're not running to a credit card. All right. Now, list our debts in this order. Smallest payoff or balance first. We're not really looking at interest rates on credit cards, although they're terrifying. I know that. But let's get the smallest to the largest debt. Once we pay off a debt, we roll in the monthly payment, all right, of the debt we just paid off into the next debt's minimum payment. This is how that little snowball, all right, if I can get my cursor to help me, goes from this down to this. And then we pay all our debts off, probably except our house. All right, let's just see how to set this up. Kind of like your example in your question that you have. All right, I have, or our friend, all right, our friend that we have has come to us and says, can you help me? I heard you took a personal finance course. Man, I'm in underwater here. I have $5,000 on an Amex, American Express card. I have a $150 minimum payment. I have $2,700 on a MasterCard. When I got my new job, I needed new clothes. I needed to look good. I got $85 a month. That's what I got to pay. These are my minimum payments. $750 on another Visa. It's come with a little extra, a pretty high payment too. That's $75 a month. And I spent some shoes at Macy's, $35, $150. I needed new Callaway and Titleist Pro V1 golf balls and the Callaway Chrome. So, you know, I got about 4 boxes. Actually, I got about 3 boxes. And that's $20 a month. And I've got my car. I was thinking about buying a new one, but I've got $6,700 left on this car, and my payment's $375 a month. Yeah, I bummed some money off of a friend for dinner. That's $50. Also, my mother. Okay, she gave me $25 for lunch. Your friend's in some problems here. And I just got my notice that $30,000 student loan is now coming due. I need to start making payments in the next month. And I've opted for the smallest payment possible of $200. Help, help, help. Well, instead of running away, like a lot of friends do, or say, you know, because I don't want this guy to borrow money off of me, let's set this up. So, little bit of an extra gift here. Nice. All right, your friend just got a late graduation gift. Now, this was Frank in our scenario for the class. $500 from his uncle. Instead of going out and trying to buy a watch or some new shoes, you just told him we're going to apply that money directly to your debts. Okay? And, you know, after counseling with him, you found out that, all right, Frank can go ahead and pay an additional $250 on top of the minimums that he's paying now. He's freed up some more money. He's got a pretty good job. This is very helpful. Again, Frank could be your brother, your sister, yourself, our parents, anyone that we know. So here's what we are going to do. All right, there's mom. She had the smallest debt. You know, don't make mom mad. $25 there. A friend. Oh, terrible to borrow money from friends. $50. I don't want to ruin that relationship. There's the next one is $150 to the PGA Superstore. Macy's was $275. Visa $750. So there's where we're looking at. There's small to large, all the way down to the student loan. The student loan was actually $42,000, not $30,000. You didn't pay any interest for a year, and it cranked up there. So now these are all the minimum payments. Now, what are we going to do here? Now, we got $500 extra to work with and an extra $250 a month. So, 25 plus 50 plus 150 plus 275, that is $500 right there. So we have just eliminated all those debts. Now, we were paying the PGA Superstore. We had a $20 minimum payment. Well, we're done. Okay, so we're going to utilize that number. We also had a $35 minimum payment on the Macy's. So let's take those two numbers and start rolling it in. Here's my Visa. My minimum payment was $75. Most people, once they pay off a debt, they go right back into using that card and getting back into debt. We're not doing that. There's the $20 right there. We're rolling it in. There's the $35 we're rolling in. Where did that $250 come from? Oh, that was the amount that you counseled your friend that they had some extra money. So now the new payment is $380. 75 into 750 will be 10 payments. 380, we're going to basically knock that out in about 2 payments. So let's clean up the sheet. Always have the sheet so you can look at what you paid off. When you pay off a small debt, it gets you the psychological win right there, that you can do it and you can keep applying this. If we started off with the student loan first, it wouldn't even have made a dent. And we want to really build success. Success builds success. Okay, here's the next one. So now we've paid off that Visa in 2 payments, basically. The $380 that was here is added to the $85 that was the next Amex. And of course, these numbers would be going down, my friends. These numbers would be going down because you'd be making the minimum payments during that month. It may not be reflected here, but yeah, I think you get the idea. We're trying to build not precision as much as psychology behind all this and the philosophical viewpoint. I can get rid of debt. Now my debt payment is $465 a month. Well, you've nailed that out pretty quickly. There's the Amex right in here. Now that's gone down, but you've got $150 that you were paying, and you're now going to add the $465 from the previous payment. This is really building the traction. All right, once we have this debt paid off, we now have the $615 into the $375. Yes, these numbers would be lower, and that's great because we're really going to pay some debt off pretty quickly. We now have $990 going in. This was the money that you automatically, or your friend automatically, was working with. So it's not like we're adding more money into this. This is what our debts looked like to begin with. Okay, fantastic. We now have that $990 down. All right. Now we have the student loan at $42,000, $300 plus $990, $1,290. So the $1,290, $1,290 was the same amount of money that we were working with when we started right up in here. We added all the minimum payments. So now that student loan is being nailed at versus the $300 a month down to $1,290 a month. And now we're debt free. Did this happen overnight? No. This class was never meant to be a get rich or get out of debt in 5 seconds. It was steady, hard work. So you now have the rest of your life to really build some momentum. And when you're debt free, the car drives better, the clothes feel nicer, you feel smarter as well once that student loan is paid off. That's fantastic. So we roll in here. It was a total of $60,000 worth of debt that we had. If we did what we were doing, if we did the status quo is never going to help us. But if we did, it would have taken 20 years of payments. What we did here, we reduced those about 5 years in there, because the student loan was the one that was really the hardest. We've reduced it to 5 years. So 15 years of payments we just eradicated. Nice. Saved 15 years of interest. So that $60,000 could have easily, my friends, been $75,000. And again, that's what major debt corporations, Visa, Amex, car loans, student loans, the banking business wants you to take a very long time to pay back your loans so they can reap all of that interest. We're not playing their game. We're playing a different game. Fantastic. Well, what should I do now? 1290. 1290 times 24 months is $30,960. How would an emergency fund of $30,000 feel? It feels great. It would feel amazing. Hey, what if it's 5,000? What if your debts aren't that big? It's an academic exercise here, my friends. That's all it is on the numbers. But these numbers are very similar to the state of the economy right now, of what most working families have to deal with. So now we've got an emergency fund, and we're out of debt, and we've trained ourselves to be very disciplined. All of a sudden, those shoes that we do love, maybe we can find them somewhere else. Okay, maybe we can find them cheaper. Maybe I can just buy really good insoles and keep those my other shoes rolling. That's really what wears out in a shoe, by the way, is the insoles. Any rate, there's all different ways to be very frugal and have that nice number. As you look at your phone, open up your bank app, and you see a nice big emergency fund ready to go, life gets a lot better. You know what I mean. It gets a lot more peaceful. We're not always freaked out on our finances and on our debt. So real quickly there, my friends, I hope this doesn't make you upset watching it go this fast. That's how we do it. That's how you would answer the question. You can provide a lot of people with a lot of great help by utilizing the debt snowball. The debt avalanche, basically goes when you put your largest debt first with the highest interest rate, and then pay it off. If you had one or two debts, that might be a great way to do it. But I like building success. When you know you've accomplished something and you can do it again, it makes it much stronger. The debt snowball, it's a great way to work your finances. When you call a debt consolidation service because the debts have gotten out of hand, it's not an easy call, my friends. And a lot of times people do not realize that is a very bad mark on my credit score. It's right under a bankruptcy, because that means someone has had to go negotiate the debts and then pay them off. Well, we just did that right now, and you can do that. Now, if things are completely crazy and you've got to have that help, hey, I get it. But if we could avoid that, that'd be great. That'd be great. I hope that helps. Hope that helps answer that question. More than that, hope it really helps us all throughout our lifetime, because debts are going to pile up at some point. We now have a strategy to get rid of them. Make it a great day.